Welcome to the penultimate round of the Irish Tarmac Rally Championship. We're in Newry, Northern Ireland, to sample the testing tarmac stages. 9 lie ahead with a quality entry. You can guarantee the action on the stages will be first class. Here at today's Ulster Rally, the stages are pretty tricky, narrow, technical, and with just a little bit of moisture on them, they can be even more tough and demanding than normal. For Craig Breen, this could be a championship deciding event, but the problem for him are the drivers behind, because he's got some really strong rivals here. One of the things to note is that Craig Breen has a brand new ride this weekend. We saw him compete at WRC Rally Finland with Hyundai, and now he switches to the i20 R5 for the rest of the season.
It's different, okay. To be fair, I've driven so many different types of cars this year. It was nice to get into something new again, and I've got great memories here from Ulster. It was the first rally I ever won back 2010, 9 years ago. So it's going to be interesting to see what way the weather pans out. Given it to stay dry. If it stays dry, it'll be relatively straightforward, but if it rains, it'll be one of the more complicated rallies I ever did, because it's so shiny and tricky and slippy, so I have to wait and see.
Alistair Fisher has been keeping the pressure on Breen for the majority of the season. He's been second to him 3 times and lies second overall in the championship, just 6 points behind. So how is he feeling about his championship hopes?
It still is close. I know there's a few things have to happen for it to work out, but we're going to keep pushing. We've sort of came too far this year to give up now. So Ulster's, even though it's 9 stages, it's still a very tricky rally. A lot of driving in the stages, so we're going to get the head down and go for it as usual.
Tom Cave impressed on his visit to West Cork earlier this year, finishing 3rd overall, picking up Irish Tarmac points. He's in a title battle in the British Rally Championship, which features this weekend, on joint points with Matt Edwards coming into Ulster. It couldn't be closer.
It's going to be a challenging day, new stages for everybody, so I think that's better from my perspective. So no one will have the same notes, so everyone's got to write fresh notes, and that will certainly test people's noting skills, so I'm looking forward to it.
Over at the Henry camp, there was definitely a family feel. Niall Henry with a new arrival, and Desi fresh from tying the knot on the previous weekend. So let me get this right, your honeymoon is the Ulster Rally?
Yeah, when we were planning the honeymoon, she says, where are we going now, Taylor? We're going on Newry. So no, we're very happy to be here, and we're heading on a cruise next week, so that'll keep that side of things right.
Now, time to get things officially underway at the start ramp, where the fans get the opportunity to see the cars and the crews close up. The event has a new sponsor on board, and they are delighted to be a part of it all.
It's the first time it's been in Newry, and it means a lot to us. We're a local company, we've been in the area for 100 years and 200 employees, so it's great to support a local event.
The weather took a little turn for the worse, but the good news was that it was set to be dry for the rally day itself. A thumbs up from Paul Nagel as he and Craig head into a hugely important weekend. Matt Edwards, last year's outright winner, also heading into a big weekend for his championship chances in the BRC. Saturday morning and a slight chill in the air as the crews head out to stage 1, McGaffin's Corner. The marshals, though, soon to be warmed up by a hearty stage-side breakfast. Tyre warming would be the crew's focus, though. Just as the stage was about to run, a very short summer shower fell on the stage. Nothing of great note, but it would make things a little greasy. Championship leaders Craig Breen and Paul Nagel were first into the opening loop of 3, and it was the first time in full competition mode in the Hyundai R5. They led after the opener and after the first loop of 3 stages, but Craig wasn't 100% confident yet with the handling of the car.
100 slowing, crest, 80 slat late, 5 right minus short, narrows loose. And flat 1 left, half long, and slight right, and early flat 1 left opens through the dip, 30 care, middle over crest, big jump, 60 slowing, slight left, 60 care, slow 4 right minus, tight and slippy.
Last year's winner, Matt Edwards, got off to a great start, just a 10th down on Breen's time on the first stage. He'd found the opener really tricky and quite greasy. It was an intense battle for the overall lead, with Edwards down by just 2.4 seconds after 3 stages. For Tom Cave, it was strategy of push like hell right from the start, with Edwards his main target. He moved up from 4th to 3rd by the time they'd completed Shin Bridge. Callum Devine, 3rd overall in the championship standings, was hoping again to show the form that had brought him 2 podiums so far this season. He was struggling with the setup of the car, however, with the rear moving around more than he wanted.
Slight right over crest, slight left, go, it's okay, 200. Slight right over the junction, past the curbs, 250, lane, 5 right over crest, slowing you have 80, for slot square left, minus B neat. 60. Lane, 4 left over small crest, go on it.
Now, rather unusually, I saw an unhappy Callum Devine at the end of the last stage. Not quite going your way, why is that?
Yeah, well, I think everything's sort of going against us. A bit slippy. We were getting caught a bit in the first 2 stages. Not bad things, but the last one we just couldn't find a rhythm at all. And even when we were pushing, someplace we were pushing too hard, and someplace we were nearly a gear too low. We don't know what the problem, but look, we're going to have to reevaluate it now and try and get it recharged.
For Alistair Fisher, the opener proved a little tricky as he overshot on the last corner of the stage. Back on form though on stage 2 with the 2nd quickest time and rounded out the loop 5th overall. Marty McCormack and Barney Mitchell were back in action in their Skoda Fabia R5. They mirrored everyone's thoughts with the inconsistent grip on stage 1. They were 6th overall. Johnny Greer and Kirsty Riddick were 7th in their Fiesta R5. Marion Evans was surprised by the slippiness of the opener and the mud in the final section. Good to see them using the Skoda R5, which they'd used on the Down Rally a few weeks before. They were 8th overall. Lying in 9th were Desi Henry and Damien Connolly. A tough morning as they thought they had a broken drive shaft after stage 1. Then they discovered an issue with the turbo. Due to this, they were a minute off the pace at the front. For Josh Moffat and Andy Hayes, it was a morning to forget. Handbrake issues on the opener to be followed by an off on stage 3. They rolled. Disappointment for our reigning Irish Tarmac champion. It's been a huge learning curve this year for James Wilson in the R5 category. Sadly, he wouldn't get too many kilometres under his belt here in Ulster. He went off the road on stage 2 and retired from the day. It was an early bath also for Alan Carmichael and Ivor Lamont in their Hyundai R5 and off on stage 2, Bronte Homeland. Daniel Cronin, like others, had found the first stage tough. They'd gone off the road but not lost a huge amount of time. Back on track for the next 2 saw them move up a spot to 10th overall. In the National, another quality entry would mean stiff competition. Stuart Biggerstaff and Anthony Nestor were leading the way over Toner by 9.4 seconds and getting used to their left-hand drive Fiesta. They, like many others, had a little excursion into a field. It had caught out quite a few during the day. Luckily, the gate was open.
Long fast 3 right over crest, 80, over muck, care crest jump fast 3 left, and flat 1 right, 200 over bumps.
tight 3 right, and sudden tight chicane right entry. And turn square right. Only 2 bails in I think. Well done. Well done.
Big smile on your face. How was it in there?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. We clipped something there after the last chicane. Coming out, she caught the grass, pulled us in, but thought would have punctured, but I think we're all right.
Modified Championship leader Damien Toner giving the thumbs up ahead of this morning's efforts. A solid start would see him and Michael Cody second overall and 26 seconds ahead of championship rival David Condell. He and Paul Kelly were third overall in the national and sandwiched by a flying Toner in front and Camillus Bradley behind, who was just 7 seconds adrift, keeping on the pressure.
100. Keep left over flat crest. 80. Turn acute right. Too much. I forgot about that. And very long. 2 left. Shot. Opens at a fence. And long 2 right.
Always a joy to see Baby Blue on the stages with Frank and Lauren Kelly. Tough day at the office though. They found a hedge on stage 2 and spectators helped them back on the road. They then retired after stage 6 with a broken brake disc. There was a lot of slip sliding across the opening tests, as Niall Henry can attest to. And did I mention that field? If you didn't go in there, had you even done the Ulster Rally? Back to the service park in Newry now to catch up with our crews after an interesting opening loop of stages. Here's leader Craig Breen. Craig, the times are good out there, but you seem a little concerned. Lots of chats here with the mechanics. What's going on?
Just struggling with a little small problem with the front of the car that I'm sure it's just something niggly that's happened because in the test I'd never really done it and I had a really proper Irish tarmac road in the test with lots of jumps and dips and everything, and now for some reason it just tightens up every so often on the steering and it's just a little bit upsetting, but I am hoping that the guys will find something here because apart from that everything is okay. You know, the speed is not bad, no big risks, and it's not so bad.
The top 5 looks a little something like this after 3 completed stages at the today's Ulster Rally. It's close, with the top 5 separated by just 15 seconds. We'll see you for more action after the break. Welcome back to today's Ulster Rally, round 6 of the Irish Tarmac Rally Championship, and a pivotal event as we could see the championship decided here in Newry, Northern Ireland. Conditions have improved, it's warmed up, and there's a bit more grip out on the tarmac this morning. Craig Breen and Paul Nagel are our leaders as we head into the repeat loop of morning stages. Perfectly placed to seal the championship, but they have to complete the next 6 stages. Easier said than done after an already tricky morning. They were fastest on the rerun of McGaffin's corner and said the car's handling felt a lot better. But overall, they hadn't selected the right tyre for the loop, and they wouldn't be the only ones.
Crest jump and flat 1 left, 50, dip, 80, slide left and right over flat crest jump, 80, flat 1 left, 80 and slowing before the crest, 70, flat late 6 left, plus narrows. Oh, I enjoyed that. That's very good, Craig. That is very, very, very good.
Edwards was keeping on the pressure and was faster than Breen on stage 5. After 6, he was adrift of the lead by 6.7 seconds. Matt, looks like it's a quick time on the board. Good run in there?
Yeah, it felt good. Yeah, clean stage. I don't think there's much left on what we've got, so if there's any more that we need to find, it's going to have to be in tyres for the next loop, I think. So.
Tom Cave and Dale Bowen were just 6 seconds adrift of Edwards after stage 4. It was all very close. The hunt was on. But then stage 5 brought its own little dramas. Tom, the margins are small out there. You were going to give it a real good push, did you?
Yeah, pushed hard. I made a mistake at the start. I went into a field through a fence and I had to spin round, so
Hard to know how much time you lost. 10 seconds maybe.
It wasn't going the right way for Callum Devine either. He'd lost position to Cave in the morning and was giving it a push, but problems out of his control would hinder his charge. Callum, you're shaking your head. What's going on? We'd expected Alistair first.
We had our own problems. The fuel pump's packed up here and it keeps packing up, so we're missing a lot. But I see Alistair, we just caught him there at the end and he moved aside.
We waited for Fisher and Noble to emerge from stage 5. The previous stage had gone well. They were third fastest, but they would lose 3 places on this stage. Oh, Ali, we expected you before Callum. What's happened?
Just a misfire from the start line, so just the whole way through the stage. No power.
Marty McCormack now slotted into 5th position overall. He'd had a good run, but also felt that his softer tyre was not optimum for the conditions now, with temperatures continuing to rise. Greer and Riddick were 8th overall and had escaped a bit of a moment in the middle stage of the loop. They were now in 6th.
First junction was like a downhill into like a wide junction, slot right. Came over the crest and just locked all 4 wheels and we got away with it. Yeah, that was. It's funny now. It wasn't funny back then, but no, it's all good.
Desi Henry can't seem to catch a break right now. He retired on stage 5 with a broken drive shaft. Escaping it all and putting on a stunning drive was Josh McAlean and Keaton Williams, who sealed the junior title in the BRC also.
Into flat 4 left. Into flat 6 right over crest. Into flat 6 left continues. Into dab mid over jump. 60, come back. 6 left, slowing 60, deceptive 1 right plus, narrow.
Taking second in the class were James Williams and Di Roberts, 32.5 seconds behind McAlean. Will Crichton and Liam Regan have had a great season so far, but this event was a tough challenge. A mistake early on meant they couldn't fight it out at the front of the class. We were expecting you a bit earlier. What's been going on?
We had an overshoot and punctured the radiator in stage 2, so unfortunately we're in rally 2, but the car feels grand, so that's the main thing.
For Rupert Flynn, this was only his 3rd ever Tarmac Rally. It was a bit of a ragged morning with some mistakes, this field claiming another victim. A more conservative approach in the afternoon bagged them a finish. Now back to studying for his A-levels. He's only 17. For Eamon Kelly, he's still honing his skills behind the wheel. Sadly, he didn't get a lot of kilometres under his belt to do that here, and off on stage 2 meant complete retirement. Sadly, we didn't see Johnny Mulholland competing at the Ulster this year, and the rallying community was devastated to hear that Father John Mulholland had passed away after battling illness for many months. John was a great supporter of rallying and a hugely enthusiastic competitor, and a sponsor of this event in the past. A big loss for the community, and our thoughts are with the family at this time. Let's check in now with Group N, and a great battle has raged throughout the day between championship rivals William Mavety and Andy Davis. Mavety has taken the top honours twice this season, but has to settle for 2nd here in Ulster, while Davis and Gilby walk away with the Group N victory. The title fight will be decided on the final round in Cork. Let's turn to the historic category now, and they have their own title fight going on. Craig McWilliam is only 2.5 points off the championship lead, but Ulster wasn't to be. He retired on stage 5 with a mechanical issue. Everyone's favourite Mini, that of Ray Cunningham, took points for 2nd overall out of the registered crews, meaning our battle continues for the title fight into Cork, as Duncan Williams, championship leader, took home maximum points. Taking 3rd in the event overall in the historic category was Simon Webster and Jez Rogers, with 2nd place going to Adrian Hetherington and Ronan O'Neill. The outright win would be claimed by Stanley Orr and Graham Henderson, who led from start to finish. A brilliant run. Let's now take a look at the top 5 in the National. Richard Moore and John Cabe seal 5th position overall here in Ulster. Camilla Spradley and Crawford Henderson take 4th overall and had kept the pressure on the man in front of them, David Condell and Paul Kelly, who take 3rd overall and points for 2nd in the championship. Championship leader in the modified, Damien Toner, takes maximum ITRC points here after a tough day out on the stages.
Definitely the trickiest rally this year, between tricky stages and brake problems. I'm glad to see the end of the finish line, I know that.
And the winners of the National here by a margin of just 7.3 seconds are Stuart Biggerstaff and Anthony Nestor, 7th overall as well in the main lineup. Into the international field now, and the dramas continued for many drivers. For Johnny Greer, a mechanical issue would rule him out on stage 8. Marty McCormack, passing him here, would go off the road on stage 9. Tom Cave and Dale Bowen had been in 3rd overall going into the final loop, but they clipped a wall on stage 8 and could not continue. Devastating. The top 6 looked like this then, with Daniel Cronin and JJ Kremin taking that 6th position overall. Ali Fisher and Gordon Noble took 5th and had picked up a puncture on the final loop. Taking 4th and their best result of the season were Marion Evans and Jonathan Jackson, 3rd position with regard to ITRC points. Callum Devine and Brian Hoy picked up their 3rd podium of the season with 3rd overall and 2nd in ITRC. Matt Edwards and Pat Walsh finished the event in 2nd, 20 seconds off the win, but took maximum points for their BRC challenge. And again, the stars of the weekend were Craig Breen and Paul Nagel, who held the lead from start to finish to achieve a dream they've both had since childhood.
100 to the finish, and long flat crest, 80 to stop. Well done, boy. Super job, super job.
The final stage end was tense until they came into sight. Champagne and the famous Irish Tarmac Trophy were on hand at the end of the final stage.
Congratulations, Craig. This is one you wanted to tick off on your list, Irish Tarmac Rally Champions. You and Paul, fantastic.
You set it up with all the emotions come, so no, it just... This has been like a recovery, really, you know, for me, and Irish Rally has given me more than I think it'll ever understand. Irish Tarmac Champion. Jesus, I grew up watching this on the TV for years. Like if I could just catch myself as a 5-year-old now and explain it to him that it was going to happen, I don't think I'd believe it. So amazing feeling. Yeah.
Paul, how are you feeling? You know how you can see how much this means to Craig. What about you?
Yeah, it's been a fantastic year. It's crazy to look back that we've 5 wins in Ireland, 2 wins in Europe, and obviously to drive at Hyundai in Finland. It's an incredible year. We had nothing back in Ayr Square in February, and this fella has been inch perfect every single rally, every stage all year, and it's a big achievement for us in the country.
Well done, guys. Congratulations.
Thank you, thanks.
Out in full force with the friends and, of course, Craig's biggest fans, Mum Jackie and Dad Ray. Proud moments at the stop control. It's now time to celebrate the spoils of a well-deserved championship title. Here is the confirmation of the final classification here at the today's Ulster Rally. The standings with Breen's unassailable points haul, which makes him champion. But the battle for the runner-up spot is a close one between Fisher and Devine, with one more round to go in Cork.
Rally win sealed and championship title sealed for Craig Breen and Paul Nagel, who are our Irish Tarmac Rally champions for 2019. A well-deserved victory here in Ulster after a fantastic season in 2019. Well done, lads.